I also have a day job as a lab manager, a dog mom, content creator. That's pretty much about it
And
currently.
crafter, as we were discussing earlier.
And crafter.
We won't mention any more about that.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I used to be a dog owner. What type of dog do you have?
She is, yes, you're sick. She is a Katakashin, which don't worry, no one knows what they are. They're
Whoa,
Bulgarian bear dogs. And
what,
there's
sorry?
only 70,000 in the world left. And she's 140 pounds and big and dumb. Yeah, you.
What type of dog is it?
They're known as Katakashins.
And where are they
Here,
from?
you can see her. Stare at the camera, dummy.
Oh,
They're from
from where, sorry?
Bulgaria.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. I've
She's
never heard
big,
of them.
fluffy, and dumb. Yeah, we're talking about you, dummy.
Okay. What are your stats, measurements?
I'm a short person because God forgot to grow me. So I'm 5'3" and I'm 30. Okay, how do I do this? 36, 24, 36.
That's the one. Cool. Okay, then. This is probably the most asked question in the industry, other than how do you get into the industry? But how did you start in the industry?
I was actually in the lifestyle as a unicorn, and somebody I was with, a guy, he said, "You'd be really great at porn." And I'm kind of from Canada, so I'm a little sarcastic. I'm like, "You're full of shit," but thanks. And he said, "No, I actually I run one of the biggest porn sites, or past porn sites." And so he kind of got me on the idea of OnlyFans, and then I started that, and it just all kept coming.
Okay. It's surprising, actually, the amount of adult performers, as they like to be called, have transitioned from like webcams, OnlyFans, whatever, to, porn.
Exactly. It's been nice to give us a chance. I don't really care what you call me as long as, as long as I get paid, I really don't care.
Okay. Now's not a good time to mention it's a free interview then.
Hey, that's okay. I like free interviews. It's just if you get me on your set, I like money.
Fair enough. So how did you create the name?
Actually, Bree is from I guess a hybrid thing. So my dog is named after my favorite quarterback, which is Drew Brees. And so with Breezy, I just took the S off. And then Austin is from one of my best friends, and it's his first name.
Okay. Drew Brees. I recognize that name. Which team did he play for again?
The the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No further comment about that.
Yeah, they're terrible now, but they were good at one point.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about being a porn star?
Meeting different people, and then getting to work creatively with different people, but mostly the fans. Like I'm really lucky. I have a really great fan base that is really kind and really sweet and really supportive, and it's getting to express yourself sexually and make people happy.
Yeah. Have you been to any of the expos?
No, it's my first year going to AVN this year.
Are you actually going as a sort of guest or as a display, if you like?
Yeah, don't you love that? I'm actually, my bosses, they own a STI clinic, and so we have some machinery that we're showing at the expo to show other performers about same day testing that it is possible. And so I'll be at their booth and then just meeting everybody else.
Okay, cool. So what's the name of the stand you'll be at? Do you know where it'll be?
Yeah, it's affordable rapid testing / Binks.
Okay. Have you got any idea whereabouts it is?
537 is the booth number.
Okay, so if any of your fans would like to meet you, then that's where they can go. Cool.
Yeah, I'll be there for all 4 days.
what I find really interesting, because sort of like watching porn is all very different from when you're sort of in the industry. I'm not in the industry properly, like a performer or director or whatever, but when you're sort of interviewing them and you get to know some,
Yeah.
it's amazing how I wouldn't say different the personalities are, but you can get to know someone better when you're sort of almost in the industry, and then you see them
Yes.
doing like interviews or chats or meeting fans for like 6 hours, day after day after day. And some performers are just generally nice people, and they'll be nice all day. After 12 hours, they're just like nice people. And others you can see almost acting. They're like,
Well, and that's exactly it. And
I
and
wouldn't
that
say that.
happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're not nice people. They're just like they don't have the patience or time for it, and they almost have to like
No,
start acting when they have to interact with people.
and they forget that that is a large part of our business. Is without fans, we wouldn't have jobs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so I just try to always really, like there'll be times, if you get me after 16 hours, I could be a little cranky because I'm hungry. But usually I'm always there for my fans. Like I do a lot of free DMing, and then some when you get raised your stuff paid DMing. But I just try to always say thank you to someone who takes the time to say something on my post because you took 30 seconds out of your day. The least I can do is acknowledge that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I think it was one of the first expos I went to, Exotica in New York, New Jersey.
Okay, yeah.
And I went round at the start because different performers have different time slots. So I kept walking round and around and around and around. And I got to know some of the performers who were sort of quiet and new and bored. And you start chatting to them and they actually like it when you walk around. So, like, oh, come here, I'm bored, have a chat.
Exactly.
And I got she wasn't bored, but when she had one of the quieter stays, I got talking to Jill Cassidy, and
Oh, yes.
nice sweet girl, and she's like, we started talking. She's like, I'm bored, and more importantly, I'm hungry. She says, come on, and then she went off and got a pickle or something, a massive great
Yeah.
pickle, and it was on a stick thing. And then she started like just teasing, pretending it was like a dick, and she was sucking it. And I was just like,
See,
oh,
that's pretty good.
she looks so sweet and innocent, and then she's doing that, walking around in a little mini skirt, and I can't remember what she was wearing now. I just thought, crikey, and I thought this is well sexy. So I said, I'm gonna video you, and she's like, oh, okay, go on then. I was like, this is. And when I got back to the UK, I attended an industry event, and I was telling all the people about it, and they're like, but you're nobody, and you met who, and you were like walking around with her. No, no, you're just making that stuff. So then about a week later, I posted the video of it on YouTube and on Twitter, and people were saying like, "Oh, that is her." And then she did I asked her to say a thing, say, thank you for watching me on My Favorite Porn Star, something like that. And people were like, "Oh, you did meet her, you did talk to her." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." You might think they're megastars, but they're normal people.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people forget is that, behind the actor, just like in Hollywood, we're all normal people. We're just a little bit more accessible. And we realize why we have the jobs that we do.
Yeah, yeah. But saying that, I've also seen the other side where some of the top performers really do think they are on a different planet. No
Yeah,
names, but
those are the special ones. Those are the
yeah,
special ones.
it's a great shame. I mean, they're still good with their
It
fans,
is.
but like, I'm not a fan. Well, I might be of some of them, but I'm not a fan. I'm not going to necessarily go out and buy loads of their content. So they've got no real benefit of having anything to do with me whatsoever. So I don't matter.
And that's something I've never understood. I always try to think that any fan, whether they have the funds to contribute or not, are still worth my time. And obviously, the ones that contribute more get more of my time, but
Yeah,
still, you should be acknowledged.
yeah, yeah.
Just thanks for liking my stuff.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Oh God, probably I'm still gonna be in the adult industry. I don't know if I'll perform for all 5 years. We'll have to see how it goes. I always take it year by year. But I think I want to more get into the booking side for either a company, booking coordinators, or talent management because there's not a lot of women agents. Something like that, because I'm really good with organizational skills, obviously, being with a criminal justice degree. And I genuinely think that I have something to impart on male talent and female talent that are younger, kind of like a mom role. Like there's nothing that I haven't seen. So trying to help them who are all new to this.
Yeah, I I remember being at the So it sounds like I'm name dropping. I'm not, but obviously you
It
live,
is.
and I'm obviously from the UK, so we don't have anything like this. So I have to travel all the way over to America to be part of the expo. So it's quite a big thing. It's not like on my doorstep or a regular thing. It's every now and then. But I was
Exactly.
attending one award ceremony, and I can't remember who the performer was, but she was evidently, because I was taking photos of her and talking to her, and then her agent came over and basically said to her, it was a really big agent, like one of the top two or three agencies, and he said to her, "Stop drinking, start winding it down. You've got to go to bed soon. I've got to shoot for you tomorrow morning with a big production company."
Mm.
And she was just like, "Oh, but I want to chill out with my friends and I want to have drinks and I want to go party after the awards with them." And he was just like, "No, I've got a big shoot with a production company tomorrow. Stop drinking, go to bed early. I'm telling you, this is like your chance. Don't blow it." And she just like started sulking, saying that, "Oh, but I want to go party." And you just thought, well, I don't know. Maybe she hadn't been out for
It,
a long time or what, I don't know. But I just thought you got to get your priorities right. I mean,
there's a lot, and I think the younger generation, there's a lot of younger performers that are just amazing, and there are
oh
some
yeah,
that you see come and go that flame out, um because they need a little bit more business acumen. They get shoved into this lifestyle where all this money's coming at you and all this attention, and everyone's trying to pump you up in that. And we have to remember, a lot of these girls and guys are 18 years old and have zero life skills, right? Like
yeah.
they've gone from mom's house or family to the porn world, and all of a sudden mom and dad aren't there, they have all this freedom. They just have to be taught, that this is a business and there are going to be certain responsibilities you have to meet in the business. And then when you have downtime, and schedule that downtime, go do what you like have fun.
Yeah. I don't know if it
But
means
that comes
something.
from being old.
Excuse me. It might be something that she planned before or something. I got no idea, but anyway. What's your favorite sexual position on and off camera?
Now that one's always different for me. I really like prone position, but it has to be depending upon how tall you are. And still love missionary, because I'm like, in my off camera, I love emotion sex, whereas on camera that's not always possible.
Hmm.
In your content it is, but it depends what kind of viewer you're trying to attract. So, and then I do love doggy. I love reverse doggy, or sorry, reverse cowgirl. Doggy. I don't think I've met one I really. Oh, suitcase position. Love, because like I'm a bendy pretzel. You can fold me in half. I'm like an accordion. I'm so short.
Are there any sex acts you haven't shot yet but want to?
Um, Everyone wants to know when my anal scene's coming out. It is coming out with Private Society. I just don't know when. I haven't done DVP. That is on my list. DP is not yet on my list because I'm still mastering anal on camera. And I want to do a blow bang because I've done one once, but it was only 8 guys and it was like an hour and a half long. And I was like, well, my jaw's just getting started. It's pretty gone home now.
Which porn star do you most like to work with?
Oh my God. This is funny because everyone laughs at me. It's more directors that I want to shoot with. Any star I'm always happy with. I definitely want to shoot with Will Pounder. I really respect his work, and love his stuff. Freya Parker, Sophia Locke, Kieran Lee. There's just a lot.
It's nice to hear director. I've not heard that before.
I do. I have my bucket list of the directors. Those are the ones that are on my list, and I have my top ones that I always say, if I ever get cast in one of their films, then it's that much closer to retirement because I would check that box off. But those are the ones I want to work with. Like the old time directors. Craven is one of them. Ricky Greenwood, Mike Cassar. Those guys are guys that I follow and I watch all their work all the time, and that's when I know I've gotten somewhere. I could have a million fans, and that's never going to be as important to me as working with one of those guys.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I interviewed Ricky 4 years ago when I first started out, 2018, I think, maybe 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice guy. But it's a similar thing to the
Oh,
performers. I think I caught him towards the end of the AVNs, and you just think he'd like had enough. It was, you think from your normal job, and then you've got
yeah.
that. He's got all the performers, all the media people trying to talk to him. You've then got the PR people bullying you around, saying you need to be here, you need to do this, talk to them, do this, do that. Have you done this? Where's this? Where's that? Did you do that? Sit down here, go to this meeting. And you're just like, yeah, okay. Can I eat?
Can I go take a piss, please? Like, and nobody
Yeah,
come with me?
that's scheduled for tomorrow. Can you hold on?
Yeah, like just
But
I
yeah,
and because we don't deal with it every day, right? We have normal,
yeah,
quiet, boring lives,
yeah.
367 days of the year, and then every once in a while they shove a convention at us, and we're like, whoa.
I was actually really lucky. I just started out, so I hadn't done many interviews. And I went down to like the quiet end of the AVN Expo.
Mhm.
I got talking to like I didn't know who she was. I mean, she's a good-looking girl, so I thought maybe she's a performer. I don't know. And I got talking to her, and I said, "Yeah, would I be able to interview you?" And she was like, rolled her eyes and said, "No, love, not me." And I'm like, oh, here we go. She said, "But if there's anyone else you'd like to interview, then let me know." And I said, "Well, who is that?" And she's like, "Well, everyone." I said, "Well, could you send me an email?" And she says, "You email me and I'll email you." I thought, that's the end of that then. So I emailed her and she sent me an email back with all these names on. I was just like, crikey, talk about who's who. So I just said, like, all of them. And she said, "You know what? Just turn up tomorrow at this time, come and see me, and I'll see what I can do." So I went and saw her, and she said, "Here they are. We'll do each one. You can have 5 minutes of each one." I'm like, "Well, interviews take about 30, 40 minutes." And she said, "Well, we'll see how you get on." And I videoed interview all of them. And then she came over and said, "If you hang on an hour, the next lot will be rotating through so you can interview them." And it's like
You're like, it's Christmas and no one
yeah,
told me.
this was like some of the top performers, unbelievable. And even one of them, I got talking to a guy who I didn't know who he was. And I said, "So, you've been hanging around here for a bit. What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm actually her boyfriend." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm interviewing her in an hour." He said, "Oh, good stuff." I said, how'd you get to know her then?" He says, "Oh, we work together." I'm like, "Are you a performer?" He says, "Yeah, I'm such such." I'm like, "Ah, brilliant. Okay, can I interview you?" And he's like, "Yeah, but where?" I turned around to the PR manager from this company, Mile High Media, and I said, "Is there any chance I can interview Zach?" And she's like, "Well, not behind one of the booths, but next to him you can, yeah." So I interviewed him as well. So it's great. Anything I want, I can do.
You're like, you kind of feel like you're being punked. You're like, where's the camera?
Yeah, I was really, really lucky. Um, it's just unfortunate that YouTube decided to take my 90% of my videos off because it was breaching
No,
their sexual content policy, even though everyone's wearing, clothes you wear the AVN, you can't wear anything too risky at the AVN, you get kicked out. So,
no, yeah.
but it's just the fact that they were working in the adult industry that YouTube doesn't like.
And what I always find is funny is, you look at Netflix and the shows that they have on there now, and I'm like, you're okay with Netflix, but you're going to censor porn workers, you're going to censor Twitter, you're going to censor this, where we show up in YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm like, it just makes zero sense to me. I'm
It
like,
is,
I don't know if common sense took a holiday or.
it is ridiculous. YouTube, and probably even worse is Instagram. You see the amount of
Oh
performers
God, yeah.
who even post like just wearing t-shirt and shorts. And the fact that Instagram will somehow work out they're connected to the adult industry will ban their
Mhm.
account without any warning or notice. And you've got Miley Cyrus, who's like practically topless,
Yep,
showing a nipple
exactly.
eraser, that's fine, it's Miley Cyrus. But if any other woman does it who's working in the adult industry, oh no, you can't do that, it's against our content rules. You're like, well, what's the difference then?
Well, and I had a really performer teach me a trick. And she's like, I've never had my Instagram banned. So here's my trick. And I'm like, okay. She goes, never recline and never be in a picture showing a bed.
Okay.
And she's like, you'll be fine. I was like, really? She goes, oh, my tits have almost been all over Instagram. But those two things and the algorithm doesn't pick it up.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see if anyone who watches this interview can let us know in comments if that's right or not. Be interesting.
There you go.
Where are we? What would you change about the adult industry?
Hmm. I don't know what I would change about it. You'd love to see more. I think what I would like to change about the adult industry is there's legalization that allows sex work and that allows us to flourish. I think that if we had that, a lot of the issues that you see in the adult industry or sex work in general would just disappear, much like they did when legalizing marijuana. Have me pay a higher tax, right? Or something like that, where we just don't have to be in the shadows anymore. I think if you take everything out of the shadows, the stuff that you see from a lot of the groundbreaking stories that went on in porn this year don't happen because they can't.
Yeah. What about the stigma around the adult industry? How's that affected you?
I'm really blessed, and I feel guilty telling my story. My dad is really supportive. Um, he just calls it the other job. And he doesn't want to, like he says, he doesn't want to know about it. I had to put porn blockers on his computer so it don't come up. But when I go to a set, he still makes me emoji him and that I'm okay. And then my boyfriend, like I told him when we first started dating, I said, if you're gonna make me pick between you and my career, it's not gonna be you. And he's very supportive in it. He thinks it's great. He thinks it's so much fun to hear about. He's like, what stories do we have, honey? I'm like, oh Lord.
Okay. Also got a set list of questions. But one of the things I ask, which I'll ask you later, is what would you ask a performer? And it's quite interesting to see the different questions you get. But one I'm going to add in now is what's the funniest thing that's happened to you on set?
Oh my God. Oh, it was my first ever scene. And I've heard of this fake cum stuff that they make for our pictures, right? And I thought, okay, I can deal with this. And I'm on my knees in front of the director who has to pour this over my face. And obviously I'm naked and disheveled. And it's been 8 hours. And all I'm thinking of is, you have a university degree and you're going to get this shit poured on your face. Wow, this really wasn't planned a lot. And because I love porn and it's because I can't have a traditional job in that sense. But I think what scared me the most was this stuff gooing on my face, and all I thought was, this feels like slime, snot, and toxic fabuloso all in one, all over my face. And thinking, I still got 6 hours to drive home.
Excuse me.
But no, nothing surprises me on a porn set. Now I'm like, oh, whatever, pour whatever shit you want on my face. What am I doing?
Okay, right.
I was gonna say, did I lose you?
No, I just got a message come up. So, okay. What's the weirdest thing that you've been asked to do other than what you've just said?
Oh my God. And this is the thing, you ask porn people now, like I have civilian friends and I'll tell them about this and they're just like horrified. And I'm like, what? That's like that's like Tuesday for me in porn. Like it just don't phase me anymore. I think the one that I had to get used to the most was because I'm a really kind person and I feel like going to hell if I'm not kind. Is I had a fan ask me to do small penis humiliation and I was really shitty at it. He thought it was good because he's like, you do it so nicely. And I'm like, oh my God, that was 40 minutes of my life that like I felt like I just felt off. I think I had to go home and have a drink after that. Like I was like, oh jeez.
What advice would you give to someone who wanted to get into the industry?
Know that it's a lot of hard work. Know that you see us on Twitter or Instagram and everything looks great and it does and it is great and it's fantastic, but it's 18 hours a day. Like I am scheduling loyal fans. I'm always 3 weeks above on that one. Now I'm 3 weeks ahead on OnlyFans, on Twitter. Then you have all your DMing and then you have content to produce. So know that it's a lot harder than it looks. We make it look really easy, but it is a lot harder and a lot of time dedication if you want to get anywhere.
Have you ever been grossed out during a shoot? And if you have, how did you handle it?
No, I see all these horror stories and I'm like, ooh, I'm really blessed. Every single one of my co-stars I've loved and they've been utmost great guys. So I haven't had that experience yet. And it's probably because I don't even know if I'd be able to register it. Like I worked in a medical examiner's office once. So grossed out to me is very relative.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember her name now, but I interviewed a female performer, and she was, I think she was a medic in the army or something, and she deployed to Iraq. And when I asked her this, and just like, no, I don't think there's anything important that could compete with, someone that's been shot, or they have their arms and legs amputated or whatever.
Exactly. You're sawing somebody's brain, during an autopsy. I'm like, that's a little disturbing. After that, everything just kind of rolls off your back.
So we mentioned it a little bit, but what hobbies do you have outside of the industry?
I watch a lot of sports. I play golf. I craft during Christmas, only during Christmas. And then a lot of work with the dog, just playing with her, and just kind of, when I'm away from the industry and away from any work I do, I just kind of like to hang out with my friends, lay in the pool because I'm in Phoenix, so it is beautiful most of the time, and just do nothing.
I always feel really guilty when I do nothing.
I used to, and now I'm like, nope. You have to have a little bit of me time.
Yeah. Do you use sex toys? If so, which ones?
Everybody thinks I'm really weird. I have not used sex toys. I guess they have their purpose. I've just never been one where it really turns me on. I like the real thing.
Fair enough. To date, which porn scene are you most proud of and why?
Oh, it would have to be the first one I did, which was the threesome with Oliver and Afton for Team Skeet with the director Brother Love. I'm probably most proud of that one because I had never done. That was my first ever porn scene. I was nervous. I'm meeting two legendary actors and a legendary director, and I was scared. And they both made me feel so easy that by the end of it, I knew that this was the business for me, that I could do it. And actually, the director is still he's still a good friend of mine today, and I love him to death.
Okay. Do you watch porn? If so, what type?
Um, yeah, I do. I watch a lot of Ricky Greenwood porn. I don't think there's a lot of that I've missed. Um, a lot of Miss the Deep X. Um, I still tune into Teen Skeet and Got MILFs porn. My porn genre is all over the map. Like I'll go from, if I'm having a romantic day, I want romantic porn. If I'm having a fun day, I want, Teen Skeet porn. If I'm having a slutty day, I want gangbang cream pie porn. So it all depends.
Here's the question I alluded to earlier. If you were interviewing a porn star, what would you ask them?
Oh God, that is like that's one of those epic questions. You're like, what would you ask somebody if they were alive or dead? Um, I'd ask them where they see the industry going, because I hear a lot of answers and I hear, a lot of opinions, but where do you want to see the industry go? Like, if you're changing it, and like, what do you want? Like, what are the things that would make you happy?
Yeah. I think the problem is the industry, like most things, is led by viewers, what they want.
Yes.
I mean, a bit controversial here, and I'll probably get loads of hate for it. But I keep seeing a lot of performers say they want to do more like scripted roles. They want to do more acting.
Ah, see, and that's really, like, from what I get with viewers, and especially when they've seen my content, they like the real stuff more. They want to see, you can watch scripted dramas on TV, and yes, scripted dramas are important, but people want to see that real connection because it's something they're missing.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't know if it's just me, but I'm more interested in the sex. That's what that's why I've got the one. If I wanted to watch acting, I would go on Netflix and watch, I don't know, Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or I don't know, Angelina Jolie, whatever film. I wouldn't necessarily think, like, I want to watch acting. Let's see what porn films there are I can watch with great acting. I'm not saying they're not
Exactly.
capable
Like,
of it. I'm just saying that to me, they're very different roles, and I wouldn't intermix them.
no, and people have to remember, we're still in porn. So what is porn? Porn is sex on camera.
Yeah.
So definitions.
So me personally, loads of hate mail. I just prefer the scenes where they just get straight down to why they're there. They're there to have sex. I don't really care how they got there. They're hitchhiking from college and they've been interested in each other for years, and they've been to lessons and they've been watching each other and they've been thinking about each other when they're not together. And now they're hitchhiking and then finally they get the opportunity to have sex. You're like, you've wasted 10 minutes, 15 minutes of my life to get to a
Yeah, because all
30-minute
I'm doing
sex
is
scene.
this. Fast forward.
There's a fast forward button. Here we go.
That's exactly. And you're like, wow, that's 10 minutes of my life. If you watch it, it's 10 minutes of your life you can't get back.
Yeah, I know. But that's just me. Maybe maybe people will comment in the comments, but if they like the storyline or if they just prefer the actual sex, that'd be quite interesting to know. I can
Yeah,
appreciate.
I want to know that now too, just for my own thoughts.
We'll have to maybe put something up on Twitter as a poll and see. Get loads of hate
Yeah.
from performers, and I completely understand if a performers, they like the sex scenes, but they think, hey, I'm capable of a bit more. I'd like to do a bit more acting. Um, maybe it'd be nice if there wasn't such a stigma, and they could then turn around and say, "Look, I do acting in the industry, having sex, but I also do
Yes.
mainstream acting, and I can act without having to take my clothes off."
Exactly. And unfortunately, we just don't get that opportunity. Once
No,
they know that
I
what we
don't
are, they're
think.
like, oh, you.
Yeah, I can't see Hollywood being happy with their prestigious actors working alongside people who have sex on camera. Although they've made films about it, haven't they? They've made a couple films about the porn industry, but they always get
Yeah.
their actors to do it, not the actual porn actors to portray porn actors.
Exactly. And, we all find it funny because, the things that, they complain about. And I'm like, wow, you really haven't, you haven't seen a day of what we go through.
That is something I wanted to try and do actually ages ago. Is a diary of a porn star, and
That would be awesome.
that's what I thought. I was trying to hopefully someone who's done a lot, been in the industry for some time and done a lot, would think that might be interesting. I'd be interested in that because I'd just be interested to see, like, okay, today's my day off. What do I do as a regular person? And then,
Yeah,
okay,
I'd like to
tomorrow
see someone like
morning,
Brandy Love do that.
yeah, yeah. And tomorrow morning, I'm
Yeah.
doing a shoot. So this is what I'm now thinking about the night before. I need to pack a bag. I need to prepare. I need to watch what I eat, or whatever. And
Yeah.
then the actual how they get to set, and then what happens on set. Maybe even film a little bit of it on their phone or whatever, just to sort of say, hey, fans, this is what sort of goes on. Because a lot of people don't see it; they just see people tweeting, and the next thing you know,
Hmm.
there's a post they've had this sex scene, and aren't they great? And you think, yeah, but so much has gone into that, you don't really realize.
That's exactly it. It would kind of show other people, that are trying to go into the industry, what a real day is like and what
Yeah,
it's going to be like.
yeah. I've just actually I did an interview with Gillian Jansen ages ago. It was amazing actually, really good. But YouTube took it off, so I'm trying to type it all up. So I've
Oh,
also got a
Jesus.
written interview, and then try and put it back on YouTube, so it's also a video. So I've like doubly covered, and also put it on Rumble, and it's just proving so difficult. But I'm determined. But one of the things she said was when she started, she asked lots of questions and she listened.
Hmm.
She said not necessarily to do what they've said, but to get someone who's been there, their opinion, and then think, okay, should I do that? Should I do this? What have they said? And then see how it goes. So you may not have the experience, but you've got the benefit of someone else's experience. So you've got a bit more knowledge than if you just go in there naive.
Well, and to watch, I think I'm really glad that Brother Loves is friends with me now, but like I said to him, I must ask you like 85 questions. And you must have been like, is she a toddler? Because I just wanted to know why. Certain things, what cameras, why did you do that? Why would you use this? Like, how do you do lighting? Like, I'm genuinely curious every time I show up to a set, um, how to do things. And, how did you learn to do that? Or why did you learn to do that? To me, that's fascinating. That's what I like.
And I'm quite interested on the art side of things. When you see some of these websites, some are a lot better than others, but like the imagery they use, not for just like the actual scene, because that's fairly simple. You just need a camera to take a picture of, loads of pictures, and one will be good. But when they have like a promotional banner and they've got like
Yeah.
different scenes merged in, and then their logo, and it looks really interesting. You just think that looks good. I want to see more of that. And you try and do something, you open up websites and creative artistic design suites and whatever, and you start with a photo and then
Yeah.
you try and make it interesting, and it's just so difficult. It really is.
It's my editor. He does a lot of my preview cuts and he does my intro outro. And I have no idea if he gets hit by a bus, I'm screwed. Um, I have no idea how he does it. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, it's freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm lucky I can use CapCut by myself.
Okay, where are we? What really turns you on?
I think a guy being really confident about who he is without being obnoxious about it. You do that and you still treat me like a princess, you're gonna get all the blowjobs you can handle in a day.
Okay, so we're near the end of the questions now. Who within the adult industry would you like to nominate to answer these questions?
I would love to know Wendy Rain's answers. I really would like to know Wendy's answers.
Oh, I've got some good news for you.
Is she coming on?
No, better.
You've already done one.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it then because she is one of my favorites. We
It,
actually share the same PR guy,
okay.
and to me, she's someone I look up to so much, and I just love her work, and I think she's one of the most beautiful women and one of the kindest people.
It wasn't a video interview, it was a written one,
Oh,
because I just find written so much easier. Probably this is
yes.
when everyone switches off because I'm talking about rubbish, but I'll bore you
No.
until here. A written one, I can send you the questions, and
Yeah.
that's my input done for then. And in my view is you can then take the time to write your answers when it's convenient for you, and then you can read through them when you've done them and make changes, and it's not a problem, and it's all good, and you can send me the finished item that you're happy with. Then I've got it all written up, so unless you're mad or drunk or whatever, I can generally make sense of what you've said, and then just copy and paste and put that into an interview. And it's a lot easier. Whereas I do an audio like this, people like to actually see, it's your performer, you want to see them.
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
And unless you're visually impaired or blind, I don't think your favourite performer would be someone you've not seen the looks of. I just like their voice, or I just like the moaning. You know, I don't actually know what they look like or what their body's like. It's just their voice I like. You're not going to cry again.
I need more British people to come hang out in Arizona because
There's
I'm originally from Canada. This is my humor, and I don't get American humor as much as I get British humor because to me, I like it's
yeah.
my favorite.
There's a few Brits in LA and a couple
Yes.
in Las Vegas. That's not too far from you, is it? Las Vegas, really?
No, and I got to do that because it's just I don't know. It's just the humor. We've got the same weird humor. It's about taking something that's every day, and you just know what everybody struggles the same way.
It's crazy. Actually, she used to be a performer and then she became an agent, and she's a really successful agent now, and she's gone back into creating content again. But I got to know her fairly well at one expo, and then she was at the AVNs, and her fans would love this because she's a good looking woman, I suppose, because she's not a girl, and she got a very nice figure for her age. That sounds terrible, that, but she's got a nice figure, just full stop. And she had her clients walking along the red carpet. And the thing is, you don't know who these people are. I mean, I made a mistake. I've stood there my second year, and there's all these really attractive men and women walking along, and they stop in front of you, and you take a few pictures, and you think, "Who's that? Who's that? Who's she? Who's he? Oh, she's nice. I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. Oh, she's really fun. She's chatty and interactive and posing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. He's boring. He's a good lad. He's a good laugh. Fist bumps and how you doing, mate, and interacting. You think that's quite nice. And then you don't know who any of them are. And this one girl walked by, and I thought, I think I know, but I don't know. And I'd like to have names next to his photos because the last thing I want to do is get them wrong and have a picture of someone famous and give them the wrong credit, the wrong name.
Yeah, oops.
So I leaned forward when she stopped in front of me. I took a couple photos and I said, "Excuse me, who are you?" And I think that upset her because she just sort of looked at me and she said, "I'm a Bella."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I thought you might be. Oh dear. And fortunately, I'd just seen, because she used to tweet a lot. She doesn't do it
Mm.
now. Well, I suppose it's X a lot now, is it? No, it's no longer Twitter.
I'm still calling it Twitter. You can call it
Yeah,
whatever you want to
most
rename
people
the
are.
thing every which way. It's Twitter.
Sorry, Elon, if you're watching this, it's still
It's just
tweets.
you you spent $1 billion in rebranding for nothing.
Oh no, I'm glad he did. I think there's a bit more freedom now. But back to the story before I forget and start talking about something else. Um, so she just started doing tweets, and she was doing a thing where she did something, and at the end of it, she did a wink, and that was like her trademark thing. She did a wink, and I just thought, well,
Okay.
let's rescue the situation because she's one of the most popular performers, and there's a
Yeah.
photographer at the AVN Awards asking who she is. She's probably thinking like, oh my, what is this? So I said, oh, can you give us a wink? And then she sort of like, oh, he doesn't know who I am, and so she sort of stood back, smiled, and gave a wink. I got that on video, and then she walked on. But all the other photographers looking at me, going like, "Are you joking? It's like going to a Top Gun film premiere and stopping Tom Cruise and asking who he is. Well, everyone knows who she is. Don't
You're
ask
like,
her
what
who
was
she
the
is.
same?
Don't ask a Bella Danger who she is. Find someone else. Someone new to the industry that no one's heard of before. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, so this, I should probably say her name. You've probably guessed who she is, but I don't want to say her name in case she's not overly happy with me talking about this. But her clients were walking along the red carpet, and it was identified that a lot of people didn't know who some of these performers were. So she had the
Mhm.
great idea of getting some paper and writing their name on it.
Oh, that's smart.
But the problem is, you don't want a performer walking along the carpet and then then you've got someone stood next to them or behind them with like a bit
With
of
the
paper
name.
with their name on it. So she decided that it would be the best thing to do would be to crawl along in front of them with their name on a bit of paper. And of course, walking along the red carpet is okay. And then you've got someone crawling in front, holding this bit of paper. So all the photographers could see who the performer was, but only her client. She didn't do it for every single performer. And I just thought, she's wearing like a tight dress and a little mini skirt and whatever, and she's crawling along on the red carpet, happy and smiling and joking with photographers, but she's, branding her clients. And I thought,
that is dedication.
Absolutely, no other agent would do that. They would not.
No, I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, well, crikey. I mean, I'll probably say her name is so people can go and, use her. I just thought, that's real dedication, that, because most agents wouldn't bother doing it. But the crazy thing was, after we did all the performers, actually, it wasn't the AVN Awards, it was the XBiz Awards in LA, in about 2019, something like that.